What's going on, wrestling card collectors? Paul and Tony are back again for a WTC TV episode. What topic? Today we're going to have something I think people are going to have a really strong opinion on, man. I call this one cards or not cards. And what I mean by that, Paul, is we've had this discussion before in private and sometimes in open forums. What do you consider a trading card and what is not a trading card? Let me start here by saying, because this conversation seems to keep coming up, especially around here, and we got Nick from Crazy Card Collector. He loves to go and have this topic with me. This is a guy who considers business cards should be considered trading cards. If it's made out of cardboard in some form, whether it be the thinnest piece of tissue paper or some giant, Lincoln log house, it's made out of a tree. It should be considered a card, and we should archive it. I don't know, man. I have some strong opinions, man. Where do you stand on this?
Well, let's separate the we should archive it from whether they're cards or not, because that's a personal choice that I'll make and you'll make, and we
Sure.
often disagree, right? So you'll find stuff on WCPG that you won't find on WTC and vice versa. But let's go back. First time I saw a paper card cut out of a magazine graded, I started laughing. I'm like, what the fuck is this? No disrespect to the Pecks and Englands of the world we're cutting this stuff out of magazines. But, the notion was, well, it says on the magazine trading cards on the cover, and there's
Yep.
perforations for the scissor to cut out. And don't you know when you take a piece of paper and you slab it, now all of a sudden you got something you can keep, right? It's not just a flimsy piece of paper. And I saw that PSA was grading them. I saw that WrestlingTradingCards.com was archiving them. I didn't agree with it whatsoever, but hey, I had to bite the bullet because, I'm not going to be the lone dissenter when respected people like you, England, Peck, Wise, all these guys have accepted that these cutout magazine cards are cards, right? So that's a perfect example of where you can get caught. Then you get into postcards. Nick says anything that has cardboard in it is a card. Well, a postcard is a card. Is a phone card, which is made out of plastic, a card, like a credit card.
Mhm.
And we can take, Valentine's cards, but it's interesting to differentiate between trading card versus just a card versus a postcard. And there are many other different types that we'll mention as we go along. But
Sure.
for me, I look at it more as, is it a collectible? If it's a collectible, then I'm interested in it for my site. And you'll see things like the Superstars calendar in there. You'll see Valentine's cards. You'll see things. You had a thing about thumb wrestlers once that I didn't
Yeah.
put in, right? But they're collectible. So really, I should. And you get into a lot of things where you get those pogs or whatever that are metal
Yeah.
and on and on. No, they're not cards. They're not wrestling cards. They're not trading cards, but they're wrestling collectibles. So
Absolutely.
so this is where it becomes, you take it on a per case basis, and we can do that. Let me put it to you. What do you consider not to be a card that you won't put on WTC?
For me, I don't think I've been putting Valentine's Day cards up there, that kind of thing. I know you have that on your site. I disagree with that.
No.
It almost seems to me that certain collectors out there, no, I'm not certain, but there are collectors out there that are looking for an excuse or trying to find a way to justify something that they have to then make it desirable and worth something.
Yeah, I
It's
get that.
almost now with these paper cutouts. I feel like, especially going like old Gong magazines and other Japanese and Lucha Libre magazines, and finding things that look square. I should cut this out, and then if I cut it out and I put it in a slab of some kind, I can justify now calling it a card. And I have a real issue with that. I mean, I have magazines here from stacks of stuff from Japan that look really nice. That if I cut it out, sure, the front side looks like a wrestling card-ish with bio information, but the back is some stupid article in the back that I have no idea what it's from. Is it a
I'm
card?
actually I'm actually with you on that, but I changed my opinion just to suit all you guys. Like
Same.
I wasn't gonna go
We,
raving off about this because I didn't think that was the right way to go. It's like, you know what? We have to have these discussions, and I gotta be reasonable. You mentioned Japan. If you go back to the earliest Japan things, they have those Menko cards, but those aren't cardboard. They're actually some sort of cork material. but they were
Yeah.
collectible, So are
Sure.
they a card? No. Are they a wrestling collectible? Yes. And
Yeah,
then
the,
and
the word collectible is such it encompasses everything. I
I
mean,
think so.
I don't care if you're
It's
if
a
you're
it's a cheap way
collecting
out.
you're collecting belts or cards or lint. I don't care what you're collecting. We can all collect something. Um, but when it comes to the trading card aspect of it, I mean, it becomes like this gray area of like, what do you archive? Like, I don't even like covering, but I did because of the pressure that people wanted us to do for WTC. I don't like covering stickers because they're not cards.
And I do. And I
Yeah,
again, I didn't, but I was getting a lot of people asking about them. And they were like,
same.
"Well, you have the stickers that came in the widespread releases." I said, "Yeah, because they're part of
Yes, you'll have yeah,
part
you'll
of,
have that, but they're inserts that are part of a card set. When you have a standalone Merlin 1993 sticker set that has its own little binder that you put the stickers into, and there's no other card
yeah.
aspect to it, it's like it's not a trading card, it's a sticker.
Well, in
So when
2000,
we had the whole discovery in Egypt of a pallet of these 1997 stickers that have the
wow,
Rock's true rookie in it. I disagree with you, man. It's not a card. It's a sticker.
I'm with you.
People
It's not
hyped
his
it
work.
up. Yeah,
This
it's
is
not his rookie card. They
no.
hyped it up. They made it something during a pandemic time when people were trying to, just looking for reasons to spend a shit ton of money when they shouldn't have been spending money. And the market went crazy. We all saw. We're not going to recap that, but it's just like this. It's almost like I have these. Some people have like they have a motive. They have some sort of desire to go out there and create some false desire to have this be the new greatest thing when in fact it's not even really, it doesn't fit the card market. If you call it a sticker collectible, I'm
I,
okay with that. As soon as you call it a sticker trading card, you're wrong.
it's
You are
not.
wrong.
It wasn't the Rock's rookie.
But
It
that's
was
just
the
only
Rock's
my
rookie sticker.
opinion.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. And but back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, when people started being very vocal about like you need to add more of that to WTC, it'd be nice to see that on the site, blah blah. I caved in and did it only because before it was WTC, it was Com Collect. I still archive like the Merlin stickers or what was the other big one that came out? So I can see the packaging right now. Euroflash. The
Yeah.
Euroflash stuff when it came out, I had them, and it was a way for me in the early days. The whole premise of WTC before it was WTC was me archiving my collection because I had everything you saw on the website. I owned it all because that's how I archived it. And then as it kind of, oh, okay, I'll just put this in the sticker section. And if you remember, like Chuck even has printouts of the old ComCollect site,
Right.
and it's like I had it broken down. There was like major releases. There was a food issue release. There was regional releases. There were sticker releases. These things were all broken down because that's how I categorized my collection at the time. And that just kind of grew into what WTC was. And then people are like, oh, well, do you have the Merlin stickers? Do you have these stickers? Do you have those stickers? You even get in the gray areas in the hobbies and the manufacturers themselves when you have like Panini putting out photo cards, Comic Images putting out WrestleMania Live photo card, poster card sized cards. We archive them as trading cards.
Oh,
It's such a gray area.
consider there was a set that came out in 2010 called Royal Rumble Pops, and in that there was glow in the dark, there was thumb wrestlers, there was stickers, there
Yep,
was all sorts of weird shit. But obviously,
yep,
it was a tops release. It had some normal cards in there. But you know what?
yep,
I'm gonna throw stuff at you, and then you tell me. Um, the back of an LJN figure with the cutout card, or the back of a microballer with a cutout card, right? Where one side is
yeah,
good, the flip side of it is garbage. Um, are they cards? They're made out of cardboard. They're meant to be cut out as trading cards.
yeah. I mean, again, it's such a gray area. I'm going to be the person that says yes, they
Okay,
are.
what about
It's a dip.
The Stewart wrestling
Yeah,
cards,
the Stewart's a great example.
which
That's
was
a good one.
which were paper and postcard size, but they were
Yep,
numbered. They were numbered
yep,
as something to be collected. Let's talk about I mentioned earlier phone cards, you know,
yep.
made out of plastic. And we can go into the sites and we can find all sorts of shit that's questionable. I mean, a card is a card, and if it's cardboard, it's cardboard. But I count it all. I count it all just because more is better than less. And if people are interested in, like I have the Superstars calendar, which is nothing to do with trading cards, but because when I say the All Stars calendar, I should say, um, because it looks like that. It looks like a collecting. But there's some stuff like there.
But if it rubs you in a way of nostalgic feeling because like, oh, it reminds me of the 82, 83 All-Stars like that. That's great. Doesn't make it a card though.
No, no. Calendar is a calendar. A card is, a credit card is a credit card. But it's still people go and collect them. People want to keep them. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the
Well,
way I look at
people
it.
collect action figures too that are put on card. That's why they have MOC, meant on card. Are you going to count those as part of cards then too?
Well, consider the micro ballers
Not
AEW.
the micro balls. I'm just talking about I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of action figures sitting on my store wall right now that are made out of cardboard with
Well,
bioinformation
that's
on the
the
backs
point.
of the cards.
That's the point I was going to make with the micro ballers is that we have the normal ones, but then we have these AEW ones that you never liked me including those because they were just the back, but they didn't look like a card, right?
They're not cards at
And
all.
I get that, but you know what? When I bought my micro ballers, I bought 25 of those, right? And I have them, and they're put into the binders.
So now we're getting into this. We're archiving things for our own personal flavor. That's it.
Well, sure, that's what my
It
site is.
doesn't. It's
I,
it's just it's just
my
to
site, the
archive for your
Wrestling
own
Price
personal
Guide
use.
existed for me as a collector to refer to on a constant basis in a form that I could use, right? And I just decided to share it, and it's been around for a while. Whereas you were trying to be more of an encyclopedic approach to just be right and show all the parallels, and you used to do that. You're not doing it now smartly, of listing every single card in the set because then page down to the floor. But
Yeah,
I think despite the not disagreements, but these controversies or topics we talk about that can go either way, we've still done a formidable job of catching as much of it as we can. And I'd
sure.
rather have it than not have it for someone to say, hey, what's this? You know what I mean? And if you can't find it on WTC or you can't find it on my site, then where are you going to find it?
It's the better to have it, not need it,
Yeah,
not have it kind of thing. I
yeah.
get it.
But
I get that approach. It just becomes like I'm I'm in the process right now in the back end. I'm going through and adding tags to make searching easier for people who want to just find food products. You can just type in food and all food products will show up. Type in Japan, all Japanese products will show up. So I'm going through and making more of an effort to do that just
yeah,
because
I
we're
have
getting
that
in.
where you can check by type. So you can type in food cards and all the food cards show up. You can type in,
Yeah.
that kind of, that's helpful. That's helpful for me.
And I have it. I mean, I have it already, but there's just I'm going back to double check, making sure I have the right terminology put in place like
Yeah,
that. It makes it easiest to for collectors to find things because unlike difference in our sites too, in the searching would be like I can't go and search for Hogan cards in your site.
no,
I can only search on your site for
for the names
sets
of
that have
sets.
Hogan's in the titles like that.
That's all.
Um, but I have mine set up where I can just type in a person's name and every set they're associated with will show up,
Yeah, because mine's a
or at least has
database.
that particular.
I could
Huh?
change that, but it's a lot of work. Like mine, everything you see on WCP are just links to my personal tables. And those are
Yeah.
all just tables, Excel tables of data, right? And,
Yep.
and and that's what it is. I could change that, but there's no need. They can go onto your site for that functionality. It's like we've talked about before. There's no need for my site to go back and do all the base stuff that was early because you have that. When we decided to work together, it was like, okay, there's going to be some things that I have, like flip throughs, that you won't, and there's going to be something like you have, you give a lot more information. I don't. I'm not into 9 lines of detail. Here's the most pertinent detail about this set, and then if you want to know more, go to Tony because he's going to give you everything that we know there. But the debate of something is whether a card or not. Maybe it's in the eye of the beholder. Maybe Nick's right if it's actually cardboard, but I look at it in terms of is it a collectible first, before I look at it in terms of is it a
Well,
card.
it's all collectible. I think that's the I think trying to identify if it's collectible or not is irrelevant because it is collectible. Everything's collectible.
Yeah,
This
but you know what?
microwave sitting next to me is collectible.
If all of a sudden I go on eBay and I see someone that says, "Hey, I've got a set of 6 lint wrestlers," you know, then guess what? I might buy that because
Yeah,
someone.
but I have these life-size stand-ups here. They're made out of cardboard. Do I have to archive them now as trading cards?
No.
No,
But if you wanted
no.
to, if there's a set, look, there's stand-up cards, there's all sorts of things like that that we have in releases, and some that are separate. Like I go upstairs sometimes and I look at stuff. There's some cards that are odd shape and all this kind of shit.
Sure.
Um, you know, I if there's a bunch of wrestlers in it, and it seems to me like this is something that someone out there, even if I wouldn't, is going to collect. Like paper to me is paper, and they're not cards. Paper is not cards. But in our world, slabbed cutout from the magazines count, so they count. They wouldn't count if it was up
So
to me.
where do you
I-
think we draw the line on that though? Going forward, do you think we're going to enter a time where we're going to have people who are going to, I mean, I already see it happening, and I've already pointed out this already, where people are going to force a card mentality on collectors by going, you know what? I found this piece inside this magazine. It's about the size of a trading card. It looks kind of like a trading card. Um, I'm going to cut it out and I'm going to make it a trading card.
That's always going to happen. Consider the Ultimate Warrior first appearance card. It's a square Quaker Dips card, right? It's obviously a card, but it's, sometimes the true first appearance of the Rock is a Rocky Maivia Cardinal Games trivia card, right? The card's still, but it's not the Rock sticker. So at the end of the day, people are going to do and say, like you say, sometimes it's self-motivated. I'm not. I don't get any benefit financially whatsoever from any of the stuff that I post. I'm just here to help the community,
Sure.
as I believe you are as well, right? There's no benefit to us. So from our point of view, it's like let's just try and be accurate and try and capture as much as we can because there's still stuff out there that neither of our sites have, and I'm well
So
aware.
it's going to be like, continue to be where we're just, we don't make the news. We're just reporting the news.
Yeah, that's right. Although, there's such a thing in a news department called an editor, and the editor's job is to determine, okay, is this newsworthy or not? And that's going on now with your Pentagon. Your Pentagon is trying to tell the news companies, hey, here's the official news. It's what Colbert
Yep.
called truthiness, 20 years ago. That's a moving target. But is it a card or not? That's for you to decide. As a collector, if you think something, well, this ain't a card because it's a piece of plastic or it's a piece of glass or it's a piece of this or it's a piece, even though it might resemble something card size or it's something you can stick in a binder or it's something you can slab or what have you. Um, I don't think we ever get a definite consensus, but as two guys sort of on the front lines of archiving this stuff, we make decisions and my decisions are clear. If I think it's something that people are going to want to see and potentially collect, then it counts. I can't make that subjective decision, is it a card or not, unless it's a physical card. If it's cardboard, it's a card, and then from there, is it a wrestling trading card or is it just a piece of lint?
Yeah, I kind of have to make deeper cuts sometimes, and I feel like I need to when, the name of the website is wrestlingtradingcards.com, not wrestling trading cards and other articles that are made of paper.com.
Well, I have a
It's
wrestling
just,
card price guide, and I have plenty of
yeah,
stuff in there that aren't cards, including a
yeah.
lot of
So,
stickers. But that's not just
yeah, I
us.
know.
Those guys, they're into, you know, Rob and all these guys, they collect stickers. And there's some stickers going back to the 80s that are in high demand, those prismatic ones
Sure.
popular. So, I think we ought to at least be aware, and then we can make the calls individually. Because I'm sure there's stuff, like I say on WTC, that I don't have because I looked at it and I said, "Pff, what's this? It's a t-shirt or whatever. And vice versa.
Yeah. Well,
But
I want to hear from people on what I
yeah,
want to
me
hear from
too.
people. Like every episode we talk, I like to hear the feedback from people on what, what's your stance on stickers being included in cards? What cutout cards, where do you draw a line when you say I'm collecting trading cards and this is where I stop because that's at this point is no longer a trading
Well,
card.
when
It's
you
not
guys
looked like
decided
one.
to count
But you,
paper cards out of magazines, I realized, okay, I'm taking a step back and my voice is going to be a quiet one because I don't agree with this, but I have to accept it because you accepted it.
well,
And
I accepted it because I first reported it when I had the magazine that said trading cards, and I go, okay, I'll put these on there. I had the one set, and I recall year, probably 20 years ago now, someone had messaged me saying like, well, there's other ones besides that one that also are cutouts, and you should include those on your website. Really? Because I didn't know about them. And then two, they were very insistent, like, well, they're kind of right. If this is a card because it says trading cards, this is the same exact thing in a different issue, but doesn't say trading cards, but it's the same
you know
fucking
what? We
thing where you
should
just
we
cut it
should
out.
we should adopt the PSA approach. They'll fucking grade anything, right? So if
Sure.
so if we decide, is this PSA decided, oh, lovely, we'll slab these pieces of paper and we'll grade them and we just create a new category for ourselves. Photos, oh, lovely, we'll grade
Uh,
them.
yeah.
Magazines,
I mean, then
love it. Video games, let's grade these. Oh, condoms, let's grade these. So at the end of the day. Tony, it's all about wrestling collectibles, even though we run sites that say trading cards. We've gone past that. We've talked about more than trading cards. Um, I often post stuff on Twitter that has nothing to do with it. I often post figures and things like, oh, look at this figure that's worth 50
Sure.
grand,
And I'm
So,
I'm I'm happy to archive things that are in that gray area. But I'm not going out of my way to try to find
I
that
hear
kind of
you.
stuff.
I hear you.
If collectors go, hey, I have this, it's kind of cool. I think it should be archived. It's trading card-ish like or something like that. And you can provide me the right information like that, and I can do a little bit of research to back that up. I guess I'm happy. I'll add it.
Yeah. But again, I saw the other day a WWE pinball machine from the Fleer era, the early 2000s, and I said, I wonder how many different machines. My next door neighbor collects them, and I found four different WWE WWF pinball machines. And I'm thinking some guy like Craig next door that's into wrestling might collect all
Oh,
these.
I gotta
Have
share
it.
that with you, by the way.
So now all of a sudden, is that something? No, we're not doing t-shirts, we're not doing figures, we're not. But yeah, in our world of cards, there's a lot of offshoots that we do include, including paper.
I gotta say, by the way, just before we wrap it up here, I gotta send you a picture of that. When I up in Alaska, that show I helped run up in Anchorage, there's a bar up there called I think it's called Coots Bar, I think it is. Um, we go inside there. They have there's a Royal Rumble pinball machine in there. I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a pretty badass. Like I really want that guy. Like, hey, if you ever want to get rid of it, I'm your guy. I'll pay for the shipping charge. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's hear from you guys. Paper cards or not cards, stickers. Where do you draw the line? And if you have something that's that stickers or that paper cutouts, like what do you have? What's your prized possession in that category, man? Let's see and hear from people about what you got. And I know we can talk about this on and on and on, and just probably sit here and
Yeah, and,
get
and
hammered
instead
over drinking
instead
while
of
we
nothing,
have this
really.
discussion. Nothing. It's just fun to talk about, and both of our sites have just sort of added to this. We're kind of guilty in a sense of making it
Yeah.
something because I think people look at our sites to validate what it is they're collecting. We know we certainly make an impact when it comes to the grading companies and other
PSA
people who
guys.
want to authenticate this stuff. So, where do you guys stand on it, man? I want to hear from you. So, anything else, Paul?
No, that's it. As always, nice seeing you, chatting. Love it.
Always, man. So, I mean, until the next hot topic. If you guys got a topic you want us to cover, let us know, man. Happy to debate it.
Yeah,
Let's have a
by
conversation.
all means, guys, let us know.
All right. We're
All
out,
right,
man.
see you all soon.